This current 2023 football recruiting class has a lot of hype to it and a lot of talent that really seems to be the future of the game. As there's a lot of players that can make immediate impacts and people you think are going to be stars on the next level. They're stars up and down, position to position, player to player, and from a few years from now, it's going to be interesting to see who are the top players from this class and to see how everyone turns out. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some recruits in this class you need to keep an eye out for, as they're truly great talents, some being underrated, and I'm going to be talking about a variety of players from a variety of positions, a variety of rankings, and a variety of commitments to different schools. As usual, before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let's get into it. The first player that I am going to be talking about in today's video comes from a powerhouse in Texas in Westlake High School, and it's wide receiver Jayden Greathouse. Jayden Greathouse ranks as a 4-star, number 107 player in the nation, and number 16 receiver in his position, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings, and he's committed to Notre Dame. When talking about receivers in this class, Jayden Greathouse has to be one of the most dominant high school receivers in the nation. In his previous season at Westlake High School in 2021, he had 66 receptions for 1,274 yards and 20 touchdowns through the air, and he's been a force for them since he got there in 2019 on the varsity level. In his career in high school up to this point, he has 182 receptions for 3,134 yards and 43 total touchdowns through the air, and you can count on him having an even bigger season in 2022. When talking about Greathouse as a receiver, he is a bigger build receiver, standing in at 6'2", nearly 220 pounds. He is someone that uses his size to his advantage, but he also is a very good athlete that knows how to get to the ball and really knows how to run those routes very well, especially with his quickness. Most recruiting analysts see Greathouse as someone that's going to have very early impact as a playmaking option. He's going to be someone that moves the chains, is a deep threat, and someone that's going to be used in the red zone a lot. On to the next player, I'm going to be taking a look at current Oklahoma commit and linebacker from the 23 class, Picciotti. Picciotti ranks as a 3-star, number 457 player in the nation, and the number 42 linebacker in his position. Picciotti is coming off a strong junior campaign in which he had a total of 144 tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 2 forced fumbles. When talking about him as a linebacker, he has a lot of strengths in his game and not many flaws at all. He's also very underrated, only being a 3-star and in the number 42 ranked linebacker, especially when you look at his film. He's all over the place. He plays with some ferocity when he's out there, and he's a very good tackler. And when looking at his size, he has some great size as well, as he stands in at 6'3", 225 pounds. This guy's already a big linebacker, he's only going to get bigger, and he doesn't really have to get that much bigger. It's also worth noting that in the fall of 2022, he's going to be playing for IMG, one of the best teams in the nation to play for on the high school level. And in my opinion, I think he's going to be rising in the rankings in this 23 class. Switching back to the offensive side of the ball for this next player, we're going to be taking a look at Kansas State commit running back Dylan Edwards. Dylan Edwards ranks as a 4-star, number 407 player in the nation, and the number 29 running back in the class. Dylan Edwards is coming off a strong junior campaign in which he was named the Kansas Gatorade Player of the Year. In that junior campaign, he rushed for 2,603 yards and had a total of 38 touchdowns on the ground. And he was a true force in the special teams side of things as well. Dylan Edwards is a lower ranked running back in this class at number 29 and is a lower 4-star mainly because of his size. He is one of the smallest running backs in the class as he's not very tall and only weighs at 165 pounds. However, he is one of my favorite prospects in this entire class as he can get it done on the ground. He can get done through the air, and he is a true threat on the special team side of things. When talking about some of the fastest players in the nation coming out of this class, Dylan Edwards is also one of them. He is easily top 5, he may even be top 3, and is in contention for that number 1 spot, even though I do believe that does belong to Nicholas Harbor, just in my opinion. But don't let that distract you. Dylan Edwards has freakish speed. At the Under Armour Rivals 50 event that took place at IMG, Dylan Edwards was named as the fastest player at that camp. And that had a lot of stars there and some of the highest rated players coming out of that class. Sticking with the offensive side of the ball with this next player, we're going to be taking a look at Arkansas quarterback commit Malachi Singleton. Malachi Singleton ranks as a 4-star, number 398 player in the nation, and the number 22 quarterback in this class. When people talk about quarterbacks in the 23 class, everyone knows this class is absolutely stacked for quarterbacks, but people often talk about the 5-stars and the top 10 rated players in the quarterback position in this class. But an underrated quarterback in this class, in my opinion, is Malachi Singleton. Singleton is a very well-rounded quarterback with some pretty good size. In his junior campaign, he had a stellar season, throwing for 2,348 yards, 24 touchdowns through the air, compared to only 3 interceptions, and he also got it done on the ground, rushing for 1,037 yards and 25 total rushing touchdowns. With this next player, he is currently uncommitted. It is athlete Malachi Coleman. Malachi Coleman ranks as a 4-star, number 105 player in the nation, and the number 7 athlete. Malachi Coleman is a true athlete. He does it all on both sides of the ball. On offense in his junior campaign, he had 17 receptions for 561 yards and 10 receiving touchdowns. But on the defensive side of the ball, he had 57 total tackles, 7.5 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. He is getting looked at by a variety of schools at a variety of positions, as he can shape up to be a defensive player as an edge rusher, or he could potentially be a tight end and or wide receiver. He has very good size, standing in at 6'5", 190 pounds, but he also is very athletic and has true 4.4 speed. He is a player that's going to help any program that he goes to on either side of the ball, as he's a very exceptional player on defense and on offense, and he's someone with a great frame that you can add more mass to, and someone, if you really develop, he may become one of the best players in either position you decide to play him in. When talking about his recruitment, some of the top schools seem to be Nebraska, USC, and Oklahoma, and when looking at some of the predictions, he is currently crystal ball to Nebraska. On to the final player that I am going to be talking about in today's video. Coming on the defensive side of the ball from the state of Oklahoma, it is Bai Jobe. Bai Jobe ranks as a 4-star, number 69 player in the nation, and the number 9 edge rusher. He is currently committed to Michigan State. When talking about players in this class that have some of the highest potential, Bai Jobe is certainly one of them. He is someone that is still relatively new to the sport of football, as he only picked up playing football midway through his freshman season, and that was his first time ever playing the sport of football on the competitive level, especially on the high school level. He has some great size, standing in at 6'4", 215. He does need to add some more weight, but he has an insane wingspan as well. When talking about him, he is still a very, very raw prospect, and he's going to have to take a lot of development on the collegiate level, but if developed the right way, Bai Jobe is going to be an insane talent. When talking about his junior season, Bai Jobe had 56 tackles and 16.5 sacks in his true first full season on the high school level. Well guys, if you made it this far in the video, drop something down in the comment section below if you want to see similar videos to this, and what players do you think are some players everyone needs to look out for in this current 23 class. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.